Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Why, hello, Internet. It is Saturday, a little earlier than 7 p.m. Eastern. Going early tonight. It's the Greek Food Festival tonight, so I got to get the hell out of here and go have me a gyro and some ouza. Ouza, yes. Yasa. Enjoy, my Greek friends. I love it. So we're going to have a good time. But we do have chat here ready to chime in on all the news topics tonight. I'm your host, Mike Byrne. As always, this is episode 69. Noise. Yeah, noise. Make sure you join us live sometime if you get a chance, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. Otherwise, check it out on YouTube, ReadyCheckRadio.com. The site's right there. And all the socials, whether that be Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, iTunes, Audible, Spotify, all that stuff. Go give us a like, go give us a sub, a review, and tell your friends. Help us grow. We're closing in on 600 Twitch followers, closing in on some milestones both on YouTube and Twitter. So we could definitely use your help there. Lots to talk about today, so let's get right down to it with resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Yad. What's up, sir?
You know, the usual, and it figures that, food would get us here earlier than normal scheduling.
Well, we had a couple of weeks off. Because there was stuff going on with, moving my son Torchwick into college, and there was just all kinds of goofy stuff going on. No Torchwick stream tonight, getting used to the new college schedule. He will be back, but tonight we will have Tark as normal. Also joining us, the Dom Greco. What's up, sir? Look at that beard growing in, man. Look at it.
It's there. I'm probably gonna shave it soon. I can't.
When's the last time you had a beard that long?
This is the first time ever. I've never ever grown it out.
I've seen you with stubble, but I have never seen you grow it in.
So this was one of those things where it's like I kind of want to see where it goes just to experience it, and I'm like, why? I'm the person that grows the quarantine beard after quarantine is over, so I'm always late to the trends. So
I'm not gonna lie,
it's kind of like a Bo Burnham going on.
Yeah,
right now.
with the brown that you got there, the shade of brown, the blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you let the hair grow in, you could be a spitting image for the historically inaccurate Jesus image.
That's true.
Definitely could spread peace, and I hope you would. You've definitely got an apostle look going on right now.
Yeah, but that neck portion of the beard there, you want to get rid of that.
Yeah. No, I was just letting the whole thing go. I wanted to see how wild it can go. For Grizzly Adams.
We got some investigative news. Let's get into some companies you've never heard of. But first, I did want to bring up something we were talking about in chat pre-show. Did you see that Dead Island 2 is actually coming back? It was supposed to probably be a Gamescom announcement. Obviously, next week's show, I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of time talking about what happened at Gamescom with Dom and Troy next week. So we'll cover it then. But Dead Island 2, which, dropped off the face of the planet in the mid-2010s-ish, now it's back thanks to Amazon spoiling it. So ahead of Gamescom, Amazon screws up again and leaks screenshots and potential release dates for different platforms. So if you are a Dead Island fan, congratulations. You don't even have to wait for Gamescom next week. You get your game coming soon. But in actual news that happened this week, one of the big things that I think not only hits, gentlemen, the gaming industry, but also the movie industry, the TV industry, the literary industry, just across the board, was the purchase of multiple companies by, once again, Embracer Group. Now, remember, we have talked about Embracer on this show before, gents. They are the ones that picked up those Western developers from Square Enix and ended up picking up the Tomb Raider IP and a bunch of other well-loved IPs, maybe some of which arguably haven't had their share of the limelight lately. I'm looking at you, Legacy of Kain. But they have also acquired now Middle-earth Enterprises. That's Lord of the Rings, gang. That's
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. And we'll get to specifically what because they don't just own Lord of the Rings. Like they own Middle-earth Enterprises. They planned in their press release, they said it's still going to operate autonomously like it does now and do its thing. We just own them, and they're going to exploit the hell out of those licenses. Don't you worry about it. But they also picked up Limited Run, who I love very much. I love Dom. I know you love Limited Run too. I think you were the one that introduced me to Limited Run years ago, before like everybody knew what Limited Run was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a couple copies of various things, like Celeste. I have a physical copy for Switch. And I know how you are, Mike. You're the same way as me. Yep. Physical copies. So as soon as I heard that there's a company out there that is specializing in that, that's when I directed them to you.
Singtrix via the free mode, and then Tripwire Interactive. That's an interesting grab too. Tuxedo Labs, that's actually through a subsidiary, Saber Interactive, and then of course Lord of the Rings. Now here's the interesting part about this, Yod. And I'm going to go to Yod first because Dom and I have kind of touched this topic yesterday on the Always Online podcast. Right. We both know each other's guests, so I'm going to go to you first. There is one more company to be named later as part of this acquisition. All that Embracer Group has said is that it is PC/console gaming related, and it is a bigger purchase. It is a bigger acquisition. The total purchase price of this approaches the $600 million range. 576 is what it nails in at. So, who do you think is the last company as part of this deal that they just aren't publicly ready to say anything yet? You got to guess. Who is it?
Gotta guess.
You got to guess. Dom and I actually had the same exact guess.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not sure. That price tag?
Okay, so let's say it probably wouldn't be Square Enix, right? For the same reasons that we've said, while Microsoft certainly could acquire them, there would be additional challenges, being United States versus Japan. It's not impossible, but it is a little more challenging. Sony seems to be like sniffing around and may have been the reason there was a Western developer sell-off from Square Enix. So probably not them, but if we are thinking higher companies, or at least more prominent companies that haven't been picked up.
But Embracer's a Swedish company.
They are.
So they wouldn't have the same loopholes and issues as an American company buying a Japanese company, because they are an international Swedish company.
Right, but they would, because the challenges of the laws are actually Japanese in origin.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means Square Enix, Sega, and anything with Nintendo, any of that type of stuff is kind of off the table because that's Japanese.
Yeah, and people that say that it's impossible for it to happen, you're wrong. You are just flat out wrong.
It's just harder.
It is a little more challenging because of Japan's personal laws against mergers and acquisitions. They're looked at a little differently than in other countries.
Considering how the companies are going and such right now, and what certain companies are doing, I kind of want to hedge towards Ubisoft.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
That is what both Dom and I said too, that it's probably Ubisoft, a company that we've talked about on this show, kind of sniffing around wanting to be acquired. They've staved off some hostile takeovers in the past. Now, the only thing that I think makes Ubisoft a little less likely is that Tencent did just recently, within the last month and a half, sink more into Ubisoft and bought up more shares. Now, if it was because Tencent wanted a return on investment through a sell-off, I could see it, but it would be a little weird, I think, for Tencent to sink money in and then just 2 months later get out from under it. But I think that would be a safe guess.
Historically, Embracer seems to like to nurture those injured puppy companies that are on the ropes, which Ubisoft come on, let's face it, they're on the ropes right now.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And
So
2022 isn't going to get any better, even if
yeah,
Dom
they've
is
got
going to
that
buy Mario
puppy
versus
look right
Mario and
now,
Rabbids.
so yeah.
It's literally the only thing that I'm interested in Ubi is Mario Rabbids.
Yeah.
I've lost all interest in
Well,
any
hey,
of their franchises.
that means you're interested in half the franchises that will come out this year.
I was gonna say
You don't want to be a pirate? You don't want to be
maybe
a pirate?
slightly interest in Watch Dogs, but like just slightly.
It is a huge acquisition, and Embracer is one of those companies that just kind of started to come out of nowhere and I should say specifically for gamers, right? Embracer very quietly 4 years ago did some buying, and 3 years ago some buying. Like, you always hear Tencent bought this, and you always remember that. But then Embracer bought this, and you kind of did you guys even remember Embracer bought Dark Horse? The
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I remember talking about that one because comics.
Yeah, I mean, not only are they getting into the gaming, but they are grabbing up IPs and distribution channels like Dark Horse Comics and things like that. Now, the Lord of the Rings one, I think, is the most interesting on where things go from now on going forward. This is very, very specific. They bought Middle-earth Enterprises, that company. That means that they, by proxy, because of what Middle-earth Enterprises already owned, they own the rights for movies, for the movies, for things on small screen, so Amazon's TV show stuff, although Amazon's TV show was clearly already negotiated, done, filmed, and everything. But if they opt to continue that with new seasons or new stories from that environment, they would have to come back through Embracer to get the rights to that. They do not own any like book publishing rights. That is all still by Tolkien's family. So
Right.
yeah, they own, and anything with like stuff that was published after Tolkien's death, like Silmarillion and stuff, they don't own that either. And Warner Brothers does like keep a little piece of full like feature length production rights because of the rights they bought off Middle-earth Enterprises way back when it was Tolkien Enterprises in the 90s. So
Now the Amazon series, that's coming out, the Rings of Power, they actually went around Middle-earth Enterprises and negotiated directly with the Tolkien estate.
Yes.
So there's a different contract. If they wanted to continue, they don't have to go through Middle-earth Productions.
Well, it depends on what they're touching, what topics and characters they want to touch.
Right, but
and
according to
all
their
the
current show, their current show, because of how they negotiated it, they don't have to go through Middle-earth Productions. Plus, what they are touching on isn't in the printed materials, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hence why they're not doing a young Aragorn series or a
Yeah. It's the origin of the rings, right?
Right,
That's
which is very vague in the Tolkien mythology. It's kind of just like I like to kind of put it like the stuff in the Silmarillion things are kind of like early Chinese history. Because in early Chinese history, they cataloged what the people's names were, where they died, where they were born. A few centuries later, some other emperor came back and went, "Hey, this is really boring for history. Can you flesh it out?" And then they added stories back into it. Yep. So the Silmarillion to me is kind of like the early stuff where it's just these people were born, these people died. And that's about it.
It does put Warner Brothers in an odd spot, though. Like they have to keep pumping out Lord of the Rings related stuff now, so that the rights don't revert back under all the previous deals. So it's a little weird. Over again. Gaming, obviously, particularly for us, this could change. Could in the future change things for the MMO Lord of the Rings Online. Obviously, it's not going to right now. Those deals are already negotiated, in place. They have their licensing deal. But when it comes time for renewal, it could make things a little interesting, particularly if, as Embracer said in their press release, they're going to exploit the hell out of this. Like, they could go to, like, they have over 100 gaming companies in some fashion under them. that they could
What
just
if-
go to and say, make one of these, make this, make this, make this.
What if it's not Ubisoft? Like, what if it's something in left field that we haven't thought of, like Konami?
That would fall under the Japanese issue.
Well,
Right,
yeah, it
but
could.
they're
It could.
a
Yeah.
Swedish company, right? So it wouldn't have, like you said earlier, it wouldn't follow the same
But like
troublesome
Mike said,
problems we'd have here.
Do you really
Like
want to
Mike
buy
said,
Konami, though?
I mean, me personally, I would love to because I want to do something with the Silent Hill franchise.
I
Yes,
think
I would.
I think we're gonna be happy on that front soon. On the side,
I hope
well,
so.
I think we'll be happy with announcements. I don't know if we'll be happy with final
And I'm
products.
telling you right now, if I somehow acquired Konami, the first thing I'm doing is getting in contact with, Kojima.
I just don't know if Embracer's like, you know what, we need pachinko machines in our portfolio. That's what we're missing today.
No, that's what you
missing.
get rid of.
Yeah.
You buy it and liquidate, and then you bring the franchises people want back.
Well, that's the thing though. From the companies that Embracer has purchased, it's not like they're not pulling an EA where they buy the company, take the IPs, trash the studio,
True.
and run things to the ground. They seem to be like nurturing these kicked puppies back to health.
I mean, Konami is a kicked puppy at this point.
Oh, 100%. But
Well,
they've
not a
been
puppy.
but they've been
It's
kicking.
not a puppy.
They've been kicking themselves though. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah, but they're definitely they're like Old Yeller at this point. Let's put them down.
Yeah, it's really weird looking at the wiki. Like, you go to the wiki and you take a look at like what exactly does Embracer own? This company is huge. Like,
They're in the business of making money.
silently
making money.
huge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they bought Gearbox and then in turn bought Perfect World Entertainment and put them under Gearbox. So here in the West, things like Star Trek Online and Neverwinter and like those MMOs, those are under Gearbox, which is under Embracer. They own all the THQ Nordic stuff from all those days back then. They've owned Asmodee for a while. Dark Horse Media we talked about. Saber Interactive. I mean, they're just massive. And when you talk, by the way, when you say like, oh, they own Saber Interactive, that's actually about 14 companies underneath of it.
Because they're another company that owns a bunch of companies that do things.
Yeah, they're absolutely
As opposed to doing something
massive.
themselves.
Absolutely
Yeah, and
massive.
it's also Nordic, right? So
Yeah,
like, they
THQ
had
Nordic is
THQ,
theirs.
yeah.
CD Projekt Red. I don't know about that one, Ninja.
I wouldn't say that's that big. Like it's decent, but it's not what I think of when I think of big.
Right.
Yeah, and I like how people are like up in arms over the Microsoft Activision purchase. They're like, oh, this could create monopoly. First off, no, that's not. No, that's not the definition of monopoly. But let's set it aside from, let's say it makes them too big to fail in the gaming industry. Have you not seen Tencent?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you not now seen Embracer Group? I mean
We joke, but they own Candy Crush. They're making millions,
Yeah.
billions even, I think, off that.
Tencent owns Riot. So
Yeah.
all that legal, and they own like 48% of Epic. Like,
Yep.
and pieces of just about everything else. There isn't a game you can touch anymore in the United States that doesn't hit one of three companies. There just isn't in some way. It's absolutely nuts how fast Embracer is gobbling these things up. And I hope, Yod, that you are right, because they do historically have this, even if they don't nurture something. I know you were kind of jokingly saying it. They are a little more hands-off. Right, and Tencent, as much as everybody gives Tencent crap, Tencent kind of does the same thing, right? Oh, Warframe, you're successful, you're owned by Leu, cool. We're gonna buy Leu, so now we own Warframe. Keep doing what you do, boo. Like, Tencent just kind of does that, and Embracer does kind of the same thing. But there is always that danger that when you start acquiring at this level, that you have to start shutting certain things down, because now you're owning multiple studios, Dom, that effectively do the same things. You know, if you own 7 action game studios and you're not producing 7 action games, what is the benefit of owning 7 action game studios?
It's like holding on to these great franchises that people love, and they don't release games for them.
Are you going back to Konami again?
No, why would I do that? What do you mean?
Here's something fun, by the way, that is a little off topic with the project. Yeah. Toss it. All right, first time chat, and it was a doozy. I'm still waiting for them to do something with Project Copernicus. Yeah, I am with you. That Studio 38, was that it? Or 38 Studios. 38 Studios was an absolute nightmare, but I always loved the stuff I was seeing out of Project Copernicus. I'm right there with you. They're never going to, though. That'd be awesome. An interesting byproduct of this, and we don't know if it's actually related to this, Multiverses is one of the top, I think it was the top selling game in the United States in July. That's the beat-em-up brawler Smash Brothers-esque game that came from Warner Brothers. So you're seeing, like, Bugs Bunny and Batman punch each other in the face. And a lot of people really wanted to see, like, Gandalf because they own that. And then they own all these like dream matchups, right? Well, there was a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff in the game's files, including different music and banners. No characters that we saw, but it was kind of rumored and teased that they were going to be coming at the... Over the last week, leakers have seen some of that stuff pulled from the game. Now, whether it was pulled as a result of just typical file cleaning, which happens, or as a result of we don't want this stuff to leak, so we're encoding it or removing it for a little while, or as a result of this Embracer deal where Warner Brothers has some rights still, but not all the rights, we don't know exactly yet. Credit, by the way, to Multiverse Susie on Twitter, who puts out a lot of these Multiverses leaks, for noticing this and finding this, saying this is quite bad news. But LOTR stuff, I'm so used to saying LOTR, for Multiverses might have been cut. I haven't found the Eye of Sauron trophy. It seems like they replaced Barad-dûr from the background of Trophy's Edge and completely removed the Mordor and Hobbiton tracks from the files. So whether it's part of this or just natural file cleaning, we don't know. But Multiverses fans, I don't know if I'd be holding my breath for Gandalf anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that if you would put these files into the game that you probably had the rights to them at some point. And if you had the rights to them, you probably legally have the right to put them in the game, even if the company was acquired after the fact because you had legally secured the rights.
But keep in mind, it wasn't developed by Warner Brothers. It was developed by Player First Games. And I could see them in a position where they were developing under what they believed were Warner Brothers' own properties at the time, and Warner Brothers not being able to say, hey, next month, we may not, because what if the deal doesn't go through? $100 million deals sometimes just don't go through.
You don't say.
Yeah, and so you just say, hey, we own, as of right now, we own Lord of the Rings. If you want to create Lord of the Rings stuff and start putting it through the approval process is fine. And then, the deal closed, you got to stop. Your development house is probably going to be the last to actually know in those types of scenarios, I would think, Yad.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be they needed more polish or something if there is still a deal going on, which we have no idea on. But I mean, they could still need more polish, so they pulled them off for a finishing or a repackaging or whatever, or they have to look a specific way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as with the Marvel's Avengers games and stuff like that, they don't have the rights to the actors' faces, so they can't look like Robert Downey Jr.
So instead, they look like cardboard cutouts.
Right.
They absolutely look like cardboard cutouts. Speaking of Marvel, nice segue, Yad.
Yeah.
Disney and Marvel Game Showcase coming up. It's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on September 8th, hosted by Kinda Funny Blessings, Adio, I can never remember, Adeo Jr., Adeyi, oh, God. Whatever. Love him, I can't just pronounce it. We're expecting to see a lot from this for you Marvel fans. Stuff from Disney and Pixar, stuff from Marvel games, Lucasfilm games, 20th Century games, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I know, ironically, that's one that some of us here are kind of looking forward to, at least checking out and seeing what it is. If you like kind of the Sims and Disney-esque, go for it. Marvel's Midnight Suns, which Troy is looking forward to, but unfortunately is delayed. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and, quote, a sneak peek at the upcoming ensemble game from Skydance New Media. That's Amy Hennig's thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, quite a bit for Marvel fans. I love Amy Hennig, by the way. I absolutely love Amy Hennig. I don't know if it's going to make me buy Marvel stuff, but as a toss-back, Amy Hennig has penned some of the most amazing Legacy of Kain stuff ever. So, like, some of those games were written by Amy Hennig. Obviously, Uncharted and stuff like that came too with Naughty Dog, but Amy, I absolutely love you. I'm interested in what you have there. I'm just not all that interested in Marvel. Yad, I would think, though, that setting Marvel's Avengers aside and the mess that game is, that this is a showcase you probably are going to be watching.
I do keep track of the D23 stuff just for animation, things like that. I am interested in seeing what they're going to premiere other than what they've already announced. I don't know if I'll watch it as it comes out because, I mean, there's other stuff going on at the time. So, I'll keep track of it, see what's going on.
Zista, you going to be watching the live stream?
Probably not live. I will come back and catch it and go through the highlights. I just want a remaster of, what was it, the 1990s Adventures in the Magic Kingdom game for the NES.
Yes, that game was tough as balls.
It was. It was.
That game was. Now I'm gonna have to play it on Steam Deck.
I
got it. I just haven't played it yet.
We had remakes of what, DuckTales. I know, Chip and Dale came out recently.
Dude, apparently that show was pretty dope. Actually, I still haven't had a chance to watch it.
The movie?
Yeah.
I like it, but I don't love it. I'll leave it at that. There's some really fantastic stuff, and the animation blending and the jokes around that were fantastic, but there's just some stuff that doesn't hit.
All right.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, I haven't either yet. I'm with you on that one. I keep getting told I need to watch it, though.
But just for reference, I actually just watched Lightyear last night, and I didn't hate it. So
I loved it.
I have no desire to watch that.
I mean, I didn't either. But I recommend that. It's worth a watch. Mm-hmm. It's worth a watch. You just have to keep in mind, it's not the telling of Buzz Lightyear, the action figure.
No. Yeah.
Go in with an open mind, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it.
It is a fun and sometimes heart-wrenching movie.
It surprised me.
It's a Pixar movie, so they're gonna stab you in the back through the heart and twist.
Stick to what you're good at, I guess. Stick to what you're good at. I don't know. The Disney's games just haven't been exciting me lately. Like, I don't know.
Their games are a little lackluster.
Give me the next announcement for Kingdom Hearts 4, and I'm down. I'm on board. Let's go.
This is a game I am looking forward to, and I'm hopeful that I can get Havoc and Lou and everybody to come on and on adventures here with me. Quakecon was this week. I guess technically is still going on, but Quakecon, there was a huge dump of reveal stuff for Redfall. Now, Redfall was supposed to be out in November. It got kicked to the first half of next year, and we're going to talk about next some other games that have been kicked because, we talk about delays on this show all the time, but it's really easy to forget just how many huge marquee 2022 titles are not 2022 titles anymore.
Are they still blaming the pandemic?
So, yeah, I'm actually okay with the delay because they didn't pull that whole, we need one more month to polish, or that thing. They said, hey, November ain't it. We'll see you sometime in the first half of next year.
Yeah. That's fine to me. I'm just sick of the pandemic. We had to work from home.
I'm kind of okay with it because that tells me they looked and they were just like, this won't be what we want in November.
Right, yeah.
And, it's not about a month of polish or it's just not there. So I'm kind of cool with it. And by the way, it'll be on Game Pass, so you could check it out when it launches, whenever that actually happens. But the common misconception with this, stop thinking about Redfall as a horde mode, please. Please, do me a favor.
Why?
Stop, because it's not a horde mode. It's not like a Left 4 Dead or anything. It's all about vampires, so great, you already got me. It's by the makers of Dishonored and Prey. Great, you already got me. Arcane, love them. This is the better way to think about it is Redfall is an open world island, but by the way, you are not just stuck on this island because these vampires, some of the vampire lords, the higher up ones, have powers to warp the world around them and suck you into like almost hallucinogenic worlds too. So it's not just like an island, but yes, think of this more as a Division 2 looter shooter, open world, narrative driven.
That's the feeling I was kind of getting.
Yeah, and it's made to be played single player or in squads, just like those types of games. The only thing I don't like, at least initially, about Redfall is that it is just, here's 4 heroes, pick one. Like, there is no just,
No,
but...
I like that more, though.
Do you really? I don't.
The only reason I do is from a narrative point of view, you can take more time and build a story around the character than throwing yourself namelessly in there and trying to make yourself the hero.
Fair.
You can get deeper with the characters if they are these 4, and you can advance the story properly.
And in this reveal, they did talk about how some of these 4 heroes, like 1 or 2 of them have lived on Redfall. 1 or 2 of them are outsiders, but they're here for particular reasons. So I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it. I'm willing to go along with it because what they did is instead of just, Dom and I running around as the same stealthy sniper, there are talent trees that are quite different depending on how you roll down them. Not talking about did I go for 3% damage or 2% crit, like actual abilities and what those abilities do, not just in single player, but speccing into certain trees will allow you to use abilities for your entire team as well as have an effect when you're single player. So you don't get caught in that spec one way when you're playing your own on your own respec when you're going to go play with, when Yad and I are going to jump in together. You get benefits both ways. And then obviously loadout being kind of dependent on what skill trees you went into. I'm going to be loaded out differently than you. So there is a chance to customize the build, if not the character itself. So I'm cool with that. I cannot wait for this game. Like, oh, and by the way, story-wise, don't think like Dracula vampires, Yod. This is very Umbrella Corporation, right? There was a pharmacy company.
It's a hint of I can't think of the name. The Will Smith vampires.
Will Smith. Oh, I Am Legend.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Also known as Omega Man.
And they said, by the way, they'll have teeth and suck blood and stuff like that, but the garlic and crosses and can't cross over water. Throw that stuff out. This is a virus, and by the way, the people that have this virus were pretty miserable, just humans that really want more power and would slit your throat for $1, so don't feel bad. This isn't like innocent people became zombies because of Umbrella. These are the nastiest of humans that wanted more power, and they are not above manipulating humans that aren't vampires yet, but do want to become vampires. And they get to decide if I'm one of them and I make you a vampire, Yod, you may not be some, glorious, powerful vampire. Right. I might make you into these blood bag.
Yes. I was wondering if you could.
Yeah, those things looked so awesome. Oh yeah, you've been a thrall of mine for years, Yod. Let me just make you a blood bag that other vampires feed off of.
Snack on you every once in a while when I'm thirsty.
They said in the thing they said though that those blood bag vampires think they're like the most beautiful thing on the planet though.
Yeah,
so it's like
it's so disturbing looking.
Yeah, I cannot wait for this game. The weapon customization looks really cool. It's from a studio that I like that has a pedigree. And just to give you an idea of scope, the Talos ship in Prey had about 5 football fields of explorable space when you played through Prey. They dropped the Talos into one of their farm-like areas that they've created for Redfall. And just this one farm area that's really only used for one key mission. There's other things to do there because it's open world, but there's just narratively it's for one key mission, dwarfed the Talos. So to give you an idea of scope, this is literally the biggest thing that this team has ever built. And you're not even going to have to pay to try it if you're already an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, Dom. I mean, it's just got like check for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they're saying. Check.
Yeah, where's that check from Mike? I'm looking forward to it.
Cross-platform at all, or no?
Go ahead, Dom.
No, I'm looking forward to it as well. I also love vampires, you know that, and being one myself. But yeah, no, it hits everything that I could want from it. So I'm very excited for it.
We don't have a lot. At least I don't know if it's going to support cross-platform. Have you guys seen it? Anybody in chat seen it? I don't know if I saw that anywhere.
I've not seen anything on it. Let me look.
I mean, I would assume, given that they kind of want you to play it co-op,
Right.
but maybe Sony, still doing its funky things every once in a while.
Sony's gonna Sony. What?
I don't think I saw that confirmed anywhere yet.
Okay.
I don't think I saw that confirmed anywhere yet.
So about when is it kicked out to on the next year?
It's just first half of 2023.
There's no confirmation.
No confirmation. Okay, so I didn't miss anything.
And what else? What else do we have kicked out to 2023?
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Remember, that was the Avatar game that was supposed to come out from Ubisoft in December to coincide with James Cameron's new movie. Yeah,
Right.
That's probably going to fall into 2024.
If it doesn't just fall into abyss.
And it probably will. Deliver Us Mars. That was supposed to be out September. Now it's going to be February 2nd. EA Sports PGA Tour. Talk about a game you just don't expect getting delayed, right? Any of the EA annual sports games getting delayed.
How? They just reskin the game.
I know,
Why
right?
delay that?
I know. It was first announced in 2021 with a spring 2022 launch window. But yeah, now that's spring of 2023. Forspoken, which is, what is it, like 9 delays now, guys? We've talked about that on the Relic grind.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it went from earlier this year to October, then to January 24th of next year. Hogwarts Legacy, is that one you're interested in, Yod?
No.
No?
No.
I mean,
not at all.
don't you dabble in the Harry Potter stuff?
No.
No. Oh, I
had
thought you
an
did. I'm sorry.
ex-girlfriend in college that was really into it, and it just kind of put me off. I don't think.
Gotcha.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Are you really into it, Dom?
No.
Is that your thing?
No.
I have never made it through the first Harry Potter book. I have tried, as somebody who loves fantasy, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Tad Williamson novels, the Forgotten Realm stuff. I was like, okay, I get it, and it's probably a little bit below my reading level because it wasn't aimed at me at the time, right? It was a young adult's a book when it came out. The first one, Philosopher's Stone, I think, or Sorcerer's
Something like that.
Some Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Is that the first one?
I think it depends on if you're in the U.S. or not.
And so I was like, look, I'm probably going to be able to read this very, very quickly, but that's fine. I want to see what all the hubbub is about. When it first came out, Twilight, man, no, not at all. Vampires do not fucking sparkle.
They're not cupcakes.
I have tried reading the first one on three different occasions, and I just cannot will myself through it. It never grabbed me. It never.
I was
grabbed
talked
me.
into trying the movies out, right? And I made it to maybe I think it was the third movie when Edward Cullen died. That's an actual thing. Edward Cullen dies in the Harry Potter movies. Spoilers. And my life was fulfilled at that point. I go, you can't top killing Edward Cullen, so I'm happy with this.
Wow. I mean,
That's where I stopped.
The odds of grabbing 3 people and not having one Harry Potter fan among them, I think, is astronomical. And we just pulled it off.
I've had them on in the background while I'm working the movies, but like you said, it's meh. I'd rather watch the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil stuff in the background, or any number of other.
That's rough. That's rough. I mean, the first ones are good, but yeah.
Hell,
they're
I'd
all
rather
good.
have-
Shut up, Dom.
No, I cannot. I cannot in good faith say that.
No, I agree with you, Dom. I agree with you, Dom, on there. They're not great.
They're all amazing. I don't know what
No.
the two of you are talking about.
No.
Havoc saying he's
They
never
are. I
seen
mean,
a single Harry Potter movie or Twilight. I haven't either. My wife has watched all the Twilight ones, and Torchwick has watched all the Harry. Like, he loves Harry Potter. Like, if you need to talk Harry Potter with somebody in my family, it's Torchwick or my mother. Like, they both are just nuts about it. Hogwarts Legacy, by the way, bounced into next year, February.
Not surprising.
Isn't this the one that like has all kinds of stupid controversy going on with whoever's the director of it, and then obviously all the like distancing they've been trying to do away from J.K. Rowling, and I don't know. Kerbal Space Program 2's delay kind of hurt my heart.
Yeah, that one did.
Yeah, that kind of hurt my
want to
heart.
play it.
Yeah, we don't know when that one. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Yeah.
Not surprising.
Not
How
surprising.
about giving it a title first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Until it gets a title, I expect it to be delayed.
Right.
But I don't know. Am I the only one? As Mike, you know, I'm a big Zelda fan,
Yeah.
but I'm not excited for this game. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I'm
how
just
did you
not
feel
excited.
about Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild was something I was excited for, and then I played it, and I'm like, this is a really good game. I enjoy this game, but I don't feel it. I don't feel like it's a Zelda game.
Okay,
Like,
so I'm with you
felt
on
so
that.
different.
Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I beat the hell out of it. Like, I did play through the entire thing.
I did the full 100% completion, located every shrine,
Yeah,
every
I
area
did
on the
not.
map, every Korok seed. I did the whole game.
Yeah, I didn't do this. Like, I did all the shrines and stuff like that. I didn't do all the Korok seeds. When I saw what was left from my percentage, I was like, yeah, no, I'm done.
And then I did it again on Master Mode.
No, I did, and I did not do it there either. I was like, because I kind of had the same thing. I was like, this was fun. It did feel like a great adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have put the name Zelda on it, but I can't really blame them for putting the name Zelda on it. Well, maybe the next one will be more my cup of tea. This is not my favorite Zelda, but I did really enjoy this game. So I'm not like, I'm with you kind of. I'm not pumped like, oh, yes, the Breath of the Wild sequel. We're getting it. You know, I'll play it. I'll buy it. I'll rip it and dump it on my Steam Deck. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. I own the cartridge. Shut up, Nintendo. I don't care what your stance is. I bought your fucking cartridge. I'll play it wherever I want.
You paid the money.
I paid
to do what you want.
I paid the money, and United States copyright law disagrees with you. Transferring things from one media to another does not violate copyright. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. Metal Slug Tactics is one that I was kind of miffed that got delayed.
Yeah, that looked interesting.
Yeah. Planet of Lana, Pragmata. Obviously, we talked about Redfall. Replaced. I think this is a little more up Dom's alley than mine.
Yeah.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. I was okay with the first one. Starfield. That hurt because I was so dead on with the release date, and you guys laughed at me, and then it got delayed. And I was wrong all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's why. That's why you never bet on release dates.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Not surprising either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much delayed. So much.
Everything's delayed.
Everything's
all
delayed. Let's talk about some miscellaneous news, and then we'll head on over to games of the week. And I just want to call this segment here.
I mean,
hold on, I'm not done with the title.
did you expect anything else?
That is the name of this first story, because if you couldn't see this We've actually talked about Untamed Aisles both here and over at MMOBomb.com. If you like news on multiplayer games, by the way, head on over to multiplayer.com. Jesus Christ, Mike. MMOBomb.com. That's the site that actually pays my bills, so I would appreciate, it's fun having you here on my little side project, but head on over to MMOBomb too. Click like on something, put a comment on something. There's giveaways, so you got that. Go for it. Untamed Aisles is kind of like a Pokemon-esque MMORPG that was like kickstarted. It got over $500,000 on Kickstarter. And then, yeah, everything was looking good. Everything was looking good. In fact, the damn thing had a release date. It had a release date.
But there was a problem.
Oh, no. Hold on. Hold on. There can't be a problem. It was supposed to come out, I think, on Xbox in October. That's a month. A little over a month.
But crypto. that was a sure thing, right? Right?
The team took to Steam to put up a post that said Untamed Aisles is going on hiatus. Now, keep in mind, this raised over $500,000 via Kickstarter. That's your money, yo. That's your money. And I don't need to lecture anybody that Kickstarter is not a purchase program, please.
Nope.
You are donating, and you are assuming all risk on whether or not whatever you support, whether it's gaming or anything else on Kickstarter, will ever see the light of day, people. Ever.
It's a gamble.
Ever.
It's
So
like
this was
gambling
your
on
money.
Crypto.
That's weird that you say that. Because Untamed Aisles was ready to go to launch. They had previously made statements that they were fully funded up till launch, and that anything else raised from Kickstarter or from buying packs on their site or whatever would just fund future development. They were done. They were done. They were ready.
So what happened, Mike?
They're putting the game on hiatus. They're saying this is temporary. But if you read the post, this shit ain't temporary. There have been a myriad of factors that have caused the lead up to this very moment. There's one. But what all this comes down to is that we are unable to financially keep up with the demands of what we set out to do. Untamed Aisles is a very ambitious title, being an open-world monster-catching MMORPG. To work on this project, we brought more than 70 staff members on board, and we were working relentlessly for more than 2 years to build the game we were all dreaming about. The truth is that the cost of development is high. They already said that they were fine. And there were lots of bumps on our way to this moment. There's one big bump. Since we started the journey in 2020, the economic landscape has changed dramatically, both generally and specifically for cryptocurrency.
Very specifically.
And we are not confident in the current market. We ran out of financial resources, and we can't carry on the development at this moment. We leaned into the crypto market and expanded rapidly off the back of the positive interest. When the crash came, we ended up heavily exposed with too short of a runway. The game remains game first, crypto second in design, but crypto funds have become and remain essential in getting us to release. Unlike many of the projects that have foundered in the storm, we actually have a great game design that could stand on its own 2 feet, but until the crypto situation is resolved, and we're confident it will be at some stage, then we have to hibernate development of this project. AKA,
That's a lot of words, Mike.
AKA, you gave us
got
money
greedy.
to make an MMO. We gambled it in the crypto market. We got our asses exposed hard, and now we're done until there's a crypto rebound.
Wow. Wow.
If you donated on Kickstarter and you want a refund, yeah, go fuck yourself. They're not giving you a refund. And I don't mean go fuck yourself from my point of view. I feel for you. This was not what you were supporting. You were not supporting them gambling in the crypto market. But you ain't getting one. That's what they're saying to you. They don't have it.
Nope.
That would be like ordering, like, Mike, can you give me $10? I'll go get us some dinner. And then I stop at the blackjack table on the way there and be like, oh, sorry, Mike, you don't have dinner tonight. I lost it on the blackjack table.
Probably shouldn't bring that up because I still to this day take flack for losing the dinner money at a card table. Do you know,
that I did not know. I did
yeah.
not.
That I was 18, 19, had poker night in my basement with friends of mine at the time, like once a week, my dad would sell us all cigars and stuff like that. He didn't care. I mean, we were all of age, so. But my dad was like, he got really into cigars and humidors and stuff like that. He was buying like $20 to $70 cigars and putting them in his humidor. And it was, any of you guys want a cigar downstairs? Yeah. How much do you want, Dad? Just put 50 cents on the thing. I'm like, Dad, it's a $35 cigar. Yeah, just put 50 cents up there. It's fine. Like, it didn't matter. And so Demina, I was dating at the time, who I was dating, she was there and then had gone home. And there's a bunch of us that were still gambling and everything. And I was supposed to take her to dinner the next night. And I caught some bad cards and lost the dinner money because I didn't stop. And it was like no big deal. We're talking like, hey, I'm 19. I have $35 in my pocket to take my girlfriend out to dinner. It's not like I was gambling the house away or anything.
Yeah.
But I still, to this day, take flack. To this day, 21 years later, still take flack about, remember when you lost the dinner money? But yeah, you're done, Jason. But Mike, they said they would grant you refunds. You promised.
Yeah.
You're not getting a refund. If you want something
But
interesting, by the way, to read, go check out the Kickstarter.
Oh God.
Oh,
no.
it's so fantastic.
No,
I'm talking about the comments. Go read the
no.
Kickstarter comments.
Those poor bastards.
Is there any solution to getting your money back? Don't listen to what they say. You can get your money back. This is somebody posting. Start a chargeback through your bank. You paid for a product. You won't be getting it. All grounds for a chargeback, regardless of what the creator says it can be done. It has been done before. Well, I've no doubt that depending on your status with your bank, you may be able to execute a chargeback. The logic is totally flawed on why here. You paid for a product, you won't be getting it. No, on Kickstarter, you do not pay for a fucking project, people, or a product, people. You just don't.
Yeah, it's a donation.
Yeah, you may your bank, if you have good standing with them, may absolutely give you a chargeback. The logic is flawed on why.
Yeah, because I think it's even in the fine print when you sign up for a Kickstarter, is that this is, there's no guarantees.
I like this.
And the
Pretty damn
reward-
shady throwing backers' money into crypto trading rather than, using it for the game it was intended for. Your main campaign page says full refunds. So what's going to be done here? Joshua Grant, the creator, says, please see our FAQs for more details on recent developments. So let's go ahead and open those FAQs.
Oh, God.
Why was this decision made? What are the next steps? Will the game be released later? What if I backed on Kickstarter? Due to our cash reserves being empty, we are not in a position to refund. Empty? We are not in a position to refund our initial backers. We're truly sorry about this and wish this scenario was different. What if I purchased a pre-order pack? All pre-orders will be refunded, and we will contact customers via the email address they provided on purchase. Why is that different? Because in that case, you weren't giving them Kickstarter money. You were buying a product. You bought a pre-order pack on their website, or I don't think Steam was they weren't available on Steam yet, but that's different.
And if they didn't refund you, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Right. But if you go through to Kickstarter and you've paid through Kickstarter, that's a completely different animal.
I've only ever backed one game on Kickstarter, and that was Shenmue 3. That's it.
They're keeping a small team to work on smaller titles to release as soon as possible. I thought your cash reserves were empty. We are changing the direction slightly to focus on smaller deliverables and build the studios back to a point where they can confidently continue the Untamed Aisles project, etc. Oh, by the way, it will not release on October 6th. Thanks for getting that FAQ in there. Thanks for getting that. They're as broke as they need to be for legal purposes. You're absolutely right, Jason. Absolutely right. And once more, let me just say, oh, crypto and NFT, it's the way of the future. Hey, Nintendo's actively investigating recent claims of misconduct. Yup. Remember when Nintendo was like, what the hell's going on, Activision? We find this distressing and disturbing. Well, Kotaku recently released an article where there were people making very similar accusations, frat boy culture, etc., etc. So Doug Bowser, yes, Bowser is in charge of Nintendo America. Ha 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 ha. Sent an email to everybody. Kotaku got a copy of that email and then verified that it was legit through other current Nintendo employees. We have strict policies designed to protect our employees and associates from inappropriate conduct and expect full compliance with these policies by all who work for or with us. We have and will always investigate any allegations we become aware of and are actively investigating these most recent claims. So even Nintendo of America can't do it. I like the phrase. What phraseology there, Yad? We actively investigate things we're made aware of.
Yes. So if nobody tells them,
yeah, that's
they
just
can't.
yeah. I was like, wow, that's worded really dodgy.
I mean, yes, but it's also true.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
if you don't tell them, if you don't report it, how can they investigate it?
That is true.
You know?
hey,
You can't investigate something you're not aware of.
Right.
yeah. So why say it?
To cover their legal asses.
Yeah, so why say it? Like, obviously, I wouldn't ask you or expect you to investigate something that you don't know about. Why specifically call it out in the PR? That's weird.
I'm gonna investigate Bigfoot. I know nothing about him.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, it's
because they gotta cover their butts.
It's like, well, I don't. It's not even that. It just feels more like a. I don't want to say a victim blaming statement because it's not. It's not like, you know, pointing out these people that make these accusations and blaming them, but it is almost like, well, you know, I couldn't have done anything about it because you never said anything to us. And to specifically call it out in a statement, all you wanted to do was acknowledge that, hey, we saw the Kotaku article, we're investigating.
Right.
Like, that's all the statement needed to be.
Yeah, but PR can't just make it that simple because it's PR.
I guess.
And their job is to cover all your butts.
Cover all the butts.
Yes.
All the butts. So we will keep an eye on that. Obviously, we've reported on Ubisoft and Activision and Riot and all of that stuff. So, yep, nobody gets a double standard here. Nintendo is now under that bus. We'll let you know as those investigations and allegations continue to be sorted out. Curiously, if you didn't know, the Xbox One did not do well against the PlayStation 4. Yeah, Microsoft stopped releasing numbers. Do you remember that, Dom?
Yeah.
When they just we're not talking
But how
sales
bad
numbers.
did they do?
Less than half of the PlayStation 4.
Ooh.
You know, with the exception of Mike here, I don't know anybody who owns a PC that, like a very good PC that they use for gaming, that actually buys an Xbox. Because the Game Pass exists, there's no reason to play anything on the Xbox.
Right, but this was the
So-
Xbox One. This was
Yeah.
the Game Pass wasn't a thing yet. This was
So
the
there-
Xbox One against the PlayStation 4.
There is an Xbox One in the house here, but the wife's sister gave it to her. We didn't buy it.
Right. But you also, for the longest time, didn't have a proper computer to play games on either. Your computer was more focused around art.
This is true, but it was still we do have an Xbox One in the house.
Yeah.
It hasn't been turned on in 3 or 4 years, but it's in the house. I'm just saying.
These are just part of all the fun things we're learning from all of these companies having to talk to regulatory commissions about the Microsoft Blizzard sale, because Microsoft had to. This was in rebuttal to Sony in Brazil, and we've talked about that before. This was another bit of that where they said, hey, they outsold us over 2-1 back then. The PlayStation 5 is beating the Xbox Series S and X, but not by nearly the 200% margin. It's like a 1.6 to 1 margin right now, according to most estimates.
I'm going to be very curious to see what those numbers are going to look like for future PlayStation consoles and Microsoft, just based on the fact that Sony's moving into the PC market now. So you can't even use my excuse for having a PlayStation anymore, which is console exclusives. We have Last of Us coming over, Spider-Man came over. If that's going to be the trend, I'm not going to buy a PS6.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I had in the show notes Diablo 4 promising not to be pay to win, but I just don't fucking care. I don't want to talk about Activision Blizzard. So Yod, let's finish up with these two things here. What did you add? You got. Let's go to Yod's entertainment corner, baby.
So, Tekken Bloodline, the anime, came out. Did either of you watch it?
No, I did
not.
not. I was moving Torchwick into college and then other stuff going, so I've been busy for the last, 14 days. I haven't even played Final Fantasy besides one pre-release event.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. So, it is on Netflix, so I'm sure you guys have access to a Netflix account.
A account,
I
yes.
thought, a account of someone's, whoever's it may be, whatever. I thought as far as a fighting game turned anime, it did really well. But the animation was bugging the crap out of us because someone decided to add shadows on top of the shadows. And they didn't. You can see it in the preview. It looks like there's like a weird triangular shadow on everybody's head.
Yeah, everybody's got this triangle
Everybody,
shadow.
no matter where the light's coming from. It's like someone forgot to turn one of the lights off on render.
Nobody noticed the abs on abs. Like these, some of these.
See, abs on abs don't bother me as much because that's normal.
My six-pack has a six-pack.
Yeah, in big fighting game anime stuff, that's normal.
Yeah.
Everybody has 12 quadruple packs, but that lighting effect, it doesn't work, and it makes it like it's this far away from actually being really good, but the damn shadows.
I can see it in the trailer now that you point it out.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's
everywhere.
always looking up at a pyramid that is just shading the light.
It works in shots maybe 5% of the time. I want to say it actually works. Yeah, that's a little on high side, but. I mean, you look at Jin's hair, his hair is pointy in the back. Why is that shadow doing that?
I don't know if I would have noticed that. I think it's maybe a very artist thing. I probably would not have noticed that if you didn't say anything until many episodes in, and I would have been like, why is everybody standing next to a triangular tree?
Right.
Yeah.
And despite
as soon as you said it, though, I can see it in the entire trailer.
Right.
You're dead on.
It's ruined forever.
Yeah.
It's my fault. Yep.
It's Jin's hair casting a shadow on everyone. Jin is always next to the light source in every scene.
That's like
the director couldn't get Jin to move.
That's like I pointed out to a few people in Celine Dion's The Titanic song. It sounds like I believe that the hot dogs go on, and if you listen to it, that's what it sounds like, and you can't unhear it.
Oh God. No, that's no. We're gonna hear that.
Yeah,
it's not Heart Does. It's hot dogs.
We did not talk about the Days Gone movie adaptation. I don't think we talked about that one. Is this another one you watched?
No, it's not out yet.
Oh, it's not out yet?
There just was a new announcement on who they chose for the act, or who they want to choose for the actor, which is Sam Hugan? I'm murdering the name, I know. But and it's apparently they want to play it off like a pseudo western where his motorcycle's his horse.
Oh, nice.
Type deal.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be a fun remake if they do it right. So.
Oh well, then it'll be awful. Never mind.
Yeah, right.
If it depends on them doing it right, never mind.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, it's not Netflix, so we got a little bit of leeway.
So you're saying there's a chance. Saying there's a chance.
Right.
Let's slide over and do our games of the week. If you're new here, welcome. Games of the Week is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo. It's where all three of us are going to recommend a game. Could be a video game, board game, card game, mobile game, whatever we're playing, have played in the past, or haven't played yet but think you should play. We're each going to make a recommendation, and you let us know in the comments who gave the best recommendation. I'm going to go first today because Tark is actually streaming what I'm going to recommend to you right now, tonight. So if you want to check it out, midnight tonight, here, Eastern Time, on Ready Check Raideo, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. Check out Live Alive, Live a Live, live a live, live a live, like however you, I say live a live, but however you want to do it, check it out. It's one of those gems of JRPGs that if you did not play it back in the day because you weren't into importing and stuff like that here in the West, because we didn't get it, we had to import it, or getting translations and stuff like that. If you haven't checked it out, the new Switch version is absolutely awesome. It's very, very good. Bunch of different stories for different characters, and the stories intertwine. Very Octopath before Octopath. Very Chrono Trigger in the art style. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely a thumbs up. Gotta play it from me. What do you got, Yod?
Mark plays something other than Final Fantasy?
Yes, yes.
I'm actually delving away from the computer today, and I happened upon this little game called Waifus and Weirdos by Black Flag Printing.
Oh, yeah,
And
you
it's
put that in our chat earlier this week.
Yeah, it's a little TTRPG where your goal is to win the affections of your waifu before the other players do.
Oh.
All right. Ninja typing it isn't going to fix anybody's pronunciation.
Love, live, leave.
Go ahead, Tom. What do you got?
Live a live. I am gonna recommend a game called Pony Island. It is $5 on the Steam store, and I'm telling you right now, do not look up anything involving this game. Just download it and play it. Go in blind. The more you know, the less fun it's gonna be.
All right. Sounds fair. Let us know who gave the best recommendation in the comments below. No Torchwick tonight. First week of college. Got to give some time for acclimation. We'll figure out times for Torchwick. Tarkoth will be live tonight, midnight Eastern time, right here on the Twitch channel. We'll, of course, be back next week with another episode of The Relic Grind on Thursday and Gaming Gumbo on Saturday. Until then, Dom, where can everybody find you?
You can find me down below at Itzista, and you can find me on the MMO Bomb podcast on YouTube on MMOBomb.com.
Yeah. Always online podcast yesterday. Thank you so much for appearing again. Yod.
Yad Art works on Twitter, Yad Art works on Facebook, Yad Art works on DeviantArt, and here on Gaming Gumbo every somewhere in the schedule.
What about MySpace?
2 on, 1 off. 2 on, 1 off. I'm Mike. Whoops. Oh, I didn't have the outro slide queued up right. Follow me right there. Follow Ready Check Radio. Stay safe. I'm going to the Greek Food Festival. Later.